But all right, so that really sums up everything going on right now. So we'll move on to, I guess, the effect this has on the future of F1. Jean Todt, who ex-Ferrari member actually,
It was 12 years as the FIA president.
he's now left. This isn't because of the controversy. He's just left because he was retiring anyway. The new president has been elected. It's a guy from the UAE called Mohammed bin Suleiman or something.
Yes,
On top of that, Ross Brawn has left F1 now, and so has Pat Simmons.
I think losing Ross Brawn will have a much
I love Ross Brawn.
bigger effect on Formula One than people realize.
Yeah, definitely.
Pat Simmons is kind of like, yeah, I think Ross Brawn is a much bigger deal leaving. John Todd as well, I don't think is that big of an issue, to be honest.
Do you know he went on a rant during the ceremony yesterday? John Todd had a rant about they asked him about the FIA or something, but he had a rant about what happened and the controversy and stuff. And he just said, oh yeah, we should be thankful these guys are alive. We should be thankful that Grosjean's alive because of the accident last year. We should be thankful Lewis is alive. It was, the guy was clueless, honestly. The clip is really funny because he just digs himself a bigger hole. He completely misses the point and just goes off on a rant about
He doesn't know
completely
what he's
nothing.
talking about.
Yeah, well
He's
gone.
very old, so.
They all are.
I never liked him. That's the thing. I never liked John Todd. I don't like him.
I actually don't know what he does. Like, I know he's the FIA president.
Yeah, but I don't. And like even when he's up for like, you know, when you watch the old kind of Formula, I just don't like him. I swear there was so much controversy with him. Like it happened a few times, but I don't remember what he did. But I remember there was something.
We'll look into it for the next one because I wouldn't be surprised. He reminds me of my old boss. I worked in an old retail. You know what? If you worked in retail, he looks like the kind of boss you'd have. Like literally like 3 foot tall, but like shouting at everyone. Like you're shouting at some poor 16-year-olds to like stack shelves faster or something. But so that's the replacement there. How do you think this looks for the image of, first of all, Max's championship and then the whole of F1 in general?
I think with time it'll be. I don't think Max cares.
No, yeah, he definitely doesn't care.
I don't think. But that's the thing. I think if you won the championship, I don't think he'll care, even if it's like even if Lewis won it off the back of controversy. I don't think he cares so much. No, if it's encore, if you win it on track.
Yeah.
Like if Lewis caught up and won, I don't think Lewis would have even cared. So I don't think Max cares. I don't think it would make like that big of a difference because I think Max will win like in the future win more championships. So I don't think it would be that big of an issue because
if it's his only championship.
Exactly. If it's your only championship, then it will always be mentioned. I think Max will probably win 1 or 2 more at least. At least 1 more. Then so I think not that big of an issue because I think that would be kind of I've proved my point kind of to you. Yeah. I don't think he'll win it next year. Or in the next 3 or 4 years, I think that would be different drivers. But I think afterwards, by the time Red Bull kind of catches up to everyone, because it's shown like Red Bull when they did the same thing in 2013 going into 2014, they did not spend as much money on 2014 car, and it literally took them from 2014 to 2021 for them to catch up and for them to compete. I don't think it'll take that long.
Yeah.
But as in, if you look up historical data, they do spend more on just win the championship now. And then we'll deal with that later down the line.
Yeah.
We don't mind having a few bad seasons. But then there are a few bad seasons where like 3rd, 4th in the championship.
Yeah, it's
not
awful.
really awful, but I don't see him doing like what Fernando was able to do with the Ferrari, for instance, where he dragged a much worse car to win. I don't think he has that. I don't think he'll be able to do that.
That's a fair argument, yeah. But I guess with
in terms of Formula One, I think it just makes the sport look really bad. Like you can't look at it in any way. It's kind of like when the Super League came out, the European Super League. It just reflected badly on all of football.
They just looked attached.
Yeah. I think it's a bit different, obviously, from this, but I think it just makes the whole of Formula One look really bad. Like not the drivers per se, but the sport in general. I think people are becoming a bit disillusioned with the sport because if I'm watching it because I want to watch competition, you know. I'm not watching it because I want you to go and ruin it because you want to make it more exciting. That's not acceptable. That's the whole point of Formula One is teams go off, you have a list of rules, and you're engineering engineering, I forgot the word, ingenuity.
Oh.
Your engineering ingenuity is what gets you to win the championship. You obviously need a really good driver, but if your engineering team is bad, you're not getting a good car. The whole point is you think of odd solutions that can boost your performance. Like, we saw like the car with 6 wheels and like stuff like that. Because
fan car.
fan at the back, all of that, because that's how far they're pushing the limits. We want to see that. But when you engineer it this way, it ruins the whole sport, because it ruins the purpose of like the idea behind setting the rules. Because if you're just gonna do that, then just put them all in the same car. What's the point of having all this engineering ingenuity only for you to swipe
Choose
it away?
the winner at the end of
Exactly.
the day.
Like, what's the point? Like, Mercedes would have won it purely on pace at the end of the season, and then you stole it from them, gave it to a different guy, to Max. Max deserved it over the course of the season, no argument there.
Yeah.
He would have won it earlier if not for like stuff that's outside his control.
That's why I feel like he won't mind as much.
Yeah, but then I think just the way they did it just ruins the image of the sport, disillusions. Like, if Lewis retires, I think that just it would ruin F1 for a
worst thing for
big
them,
fan base.
People don't want to say, as much as Bernie Ecclestone, so before 2017, F1 never really cared about their media side of things. But Lewis Hamilton still has more followers than F1 on Twitter. I think on Instagram he's on 26 million and F1 is on like 16 or something like that. And then on Twitter, I don't know if it's around the same. I can actually find out.
He's at that
but
point.
he's bigger than the sport, realistically.
Yeah, realistically, he's at the same position Michael was at when he came to retire, where when you think of the sport, you think of him. I think maybe Max is kind of like, people think of Max now because of Drive to Survive. People know more about the drivers, but Hamilton is still kind of like the biggest driver in the sport.
Yeah, like before Drive to Survive, because now that's introduced everyone to all the drivers. If you knew F1, you'd just say Lewis Hamilton, that's it. You wouldn't know anything else, you just say
Lewis
Lewis
Hamilton. If you
Hamilton.
didn't know F1, Lewis Hamilton is the only driver you knew, basically.
Yeah, and that's why if you look at the pictures from the American Grand Prix in COTA,
it's just Lewis.
Yeah, it's literally, they're all Lewis fans because it's the only guy they've heard of. Obviously,
and
the turnout wasn't as big, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I think they've ruined the sport for like a lot of people.
Are they on the same amount of followers? They're on the same amount of followers.
Yeah, but this is Twitter, no one cares about Twitter.
Fair enough. But yeah, they're on the same amount. On Instagram, Lewis is like clear by 10 million or something. So
he's a much bigger, like, in terms of like, based, he's much bigger. I think he's reached that point where he's, like, I think it was a bit more like 2018, 2017, where he was, I think at that point he was kind of like, he was bigger than the sport. I think now
he was still doing media and stuff as well at the time.
It diminished a bit because of Drive to Survive and stuff, but I think he's still at that point where he's got like a very loud, not loud voice, but like he's got a lot of influence.
Yeah. His name holds weight, definitely.
I think if he wants to ruin the sport, he just retires now, and Formula One is in for a disaster, bro.
Completely.
Or he goes. I don't think he'll retire. I hope he doesn't retire. I want him to go on and win it, but like
I hope he doesn't.
say next year, because then if he comes back again, there's no argument of him like he lost it this year. He would have won in a worse car. He lost it just because of the FIA. And I think that kind of proves his point that he didn't just win because he was in a better car. He won because he was just better. Yeah. This year, whoever won the race won because they're in the better car. Except Lewis won at the beginning purely on strategy, essentially. Like Mercedes pulled out a very, very good strategy. Barcelona, Bahrain, and one more, Portimao. They pulled out really good strategy. That's why they won. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and so we'll see. So now moving into the sponsors, this could also have an effect on. So Paddy Power, astaghfirullah, betting on that. But they've actually, I think they've refunded people. I think I read the tweet or something, and it was like, I think they're handing out money based on if you betted on Max or Lewis winning Abu Dhabi, and then Max or Lewis winning the championship, they're like refunding the bets or whatever it is, or they're giving out the winnings as if both of them won. So if you betted on Max winning, you win, and if you betted on Lewis winning, you also win, or something like that. So they've realised it's a mess, and they're refunding people. The sponsors now, we've already spoken about Porsche and Audi potentially trying to get in when the engine regulations change in 2026. Do you really want to? F1 is known, as a business move, it's very risky. You can invest your money and you have to invest loads of money But even the teams don't make huge amounts of profits. You need to be able to use
The
the
teams,
sponsorship time to sell stuff.
the teams make no profit. As in the teams break even. That's it.
Yeah.
No team in F1 makes profit.
Specifically the F1 team, yeah.
Yeah. I'm saying as in no team in Formula One makes profit. They use it as a marketing scheme essentially.
That's why the drinks company is sat there trying to win stuff.
Basically. Yeah.
But like if you're Porsche or Audi, like sure you're gonna try to sell cars, but if you're investing hundreds of millions,
controversy. But that's the thing, because of the budget cuts, they're not going to invest that much. But
yeah.
But then you're thinking about it. Do I want to be involved in, say, where Red Bull is right now? Because realistically, if they get involved in the sport, they're going to start making engines. The best thing for them would be to partner with Red Bull on their new Red Bull engine.
Yeah.
That would be the best course of action, realistically. This is for Volkswagen. I think Audi wanted to buy a team. I don't really see them buying a team, to be honest. So Volkswagen, or they could buy Haas, but I don't see him. He waited this year. I reckon he'll wait out the next year, because they actually could, start making better stuff, performing better. But Volkswagen, I don't think they're gonna have to partner with Red Bull. Red Bull are quite known for controversy in this sense with the sport doing this. With Volkswagen having their own controversy, with everything that's happening, or everything that happened, you don't know.
The engine thing or whatever.
Yeah. All of this stuff.
Yeah.
Do you really want to get involved in this? Do you want to get involved in more controversy when
yeah.
you're trying to create a better image of it?
Brand image is huge now, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't see, because of the way it ended, I don't see them essentially being very keen to jump in.
We'll see, yeah, that could be, because F1's just become a very risky investment. So,
but if the FIA come out with better rules, clarity, they fixed everything, perhaps.
Yeah, they've got a couple months now to sort out that statement, invest stuff. But then even at the same time, everyone's meant to be on a break now. So if they're trying to investigate stuff, they should try.
But
they're
the
trying to
team is back
investigate with the teams.
Mercedes are back at Brixworth today. They were.
Yeah, I saw the pictures.
Yeah. They had their meetings and all of that. I guess it was going to be all debrief stuff. Talk about the race, what happened.
And then everyone goes on holiday.
Yeah, basically.
So they're going to have to wait quite a while before they can start doing their little investigation into what happened. So we'll see what they say.
I guess for every team every team over the winter, they still have a lot of guys working at the at the factory. So they're going to have anyways obviously Toto will probably be off, Lewis, the drivers are off definitely. They're going to have to wait for the driver's statements and probably team principals. But in terms of maybe not team principals, but in terms of the team could easily have someone represent them, as in I'm here to represent Toto essentially, or I'm here to represent Lewis, whoever, and then they can go on holiday. But we'll see.